think a lot of things scare narcissists, probably more than they let on. I think if you were to ask a narcissist what scares you, they would probably say nothing. But in reality, I think a lot of narcissists, at least in the research that I've done, it seems like they struggle with a lack of confidence and low self esteem, sort of a really fragile self structure where they're dependent on external validation to make them feel good about themselves. And so, to calm those feelings, I think they project exactly the opposite, that they're very confident, they feel like they're very important, they're very capable. And they might even take that to the next level by minimizing other people, devaluing other people, being highly critical of other people, just to kind of bolster their own self-esteem, to kind of give themselves an ego boost and to reaffirm that position of power or superiority that they believe themselves to hold. And so I think one of the things that scares a narcissist is being exposed as being a narcissist, of struggling with their confidence, of lacking self-esteem, of being scared or jealous or insecure. Any of the negative qualities that they actually hold being brought to the surface, sort of being brought to light, and them being called out for having them. I think that's a huge fear for a lot of narcissists, because they sort of create this diluted version of reality that they live in, where they're not held accountable for anything negative, and they sort of hold this really important position of power. And they're the most important person in the room. They're the most charismatic. They're the most attractive. And again, I think they're doing all of this to kind of combat maybe that inner monologue or those inner feelings that are completely the opposite. And so they'll create this version of reality that they live within, and they'll try to maintain this image for other people to kind of convince them that this is who they are, despite how they might actually feel inside. And I think what happens with a lot of narcissists, I would imagine, is that they work so hard to maintain this image that they start to believe it themselves. And they can't even entertain the idea of them being anything other than what they've portrayed themselves to be to themselves and to other people. So I think being exposed as a narcissist is a huge fear. I think another fear of narcissists is losing their narcissistic supply, whatever that might be, whether it's an enabling partner or a scapegoated child, a golden child, anyone who's in their inner circle that they can manipulate to kind of further their own agenda, I guess. Losing that relationship, losing that attention or energy, I think is also a major fear of narcissists, which kind of leads me to this next point, which is independence, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic parent. I think the idea of their child growing up and becoming independent, sort of entering into adulthood, standing on their own 2 feet, maybe getting a job, moving out, entering into a relationship, a serious relationship that might actually go far. All of these things that in the end might result in this person sort of distancing themselves from the narcissist, I think is really scary also. Kind of building off of that low self-esteem and that lack of confidence, I think if there are other people in a narcissist's life, whether they're closely related or extended family members or, a friend of a friend, if someone else is doing objectively better, if they're succeeding in their career, if they're personally really happy, if they've achieved something, really great that other people are congratulating them on, I think that also kind of scares a narcissist, when the attention is on someone else other than them, and especially it's positive attention, when people are proud of someone, happy for someone, kind of sharing in their joy or excitement and their accomplishments. I think that's also really scary, because then it feels like the narcissist is no longer the center of attention, and I think that is one of the things that they crave the most, is attention. And so the idea of losing that, I think, is probably really scary to a narcissist. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. You know, I am not a professional. I don't claim to be one, but a therapist once told me that I am an expert in my own experience. And I want to speak about these topics candidly so that anyone who has experienced or is currently experiencing something like it knows a little bit more about what to expect, how to respond, and that you're not alone.